100 questionnaires to former residents of Hotel de Mille Collines who were inside and outside the country and whose contact we could acquire. These include a prosecutor general, a former prosecutor general of Rwanda, a senator, members of parliament, a bishop, doctors, journalists, businessmen and women, and students. We obtained 74 returns. And here I would like to give you some of the statistics that we obtained, just to give you an idea. First of all, 94% of our respondents lost their loved ones. 74% lost more than 4 members of their families. And 95% expected to die. Of the 19 questions in our questionnaire, 4 stand out because they relate directly to Rusesabagina's heroism or otherwise. The first question is this: are you aware of any acts undertaken by Rusesabagina that may have saved your life? And here, 96% of our respondents said no. Those who said that he undertook acts that may have saved their lives said he allowed them to use water from the swimming pool. Difficult to say whether this was meant to be sarcastic or not. Then we asked, are you aware of any acts undertaken by Rusesabagina that may have put your life in danger, and if so, which ones? Here, 51% of our respondents said yes, and 49% said no. Among the acts that may have put their lives in danger were the following: that he refused to give them accommodation because they did not have money to pay, that he refused them food because they did not have money to pay, that he stopped them from using the phone and fax to tell the world about their predicament, that he gave away the water tanker to Colonel Bagosora, as a result of which they end up using the water from the swimming pool for all their needs, that Rusesabagina held frequent meetings with the killers and provided them with updated lists of the residents, that Rusesabagina discouraged the Red Cross from providing free food to them, and that Rusesabagina forced them to cook in the open gardens where they were exposed. Then we asked the respondents this question: are you aware of any acts undertaken by Rusesabagina that may have put his own life in danger to save others? And if so, which ones? Here, only one respondent said yes. And this was a lady. She said that Rusesabagina may have stopped killers from killing them. Interestingly, we asked respondents if they were ever asked by Rusesabagina to pay for their accommodation and or other services during their stay at Hotel de Mille Collines. 74% said that they had been charged for accommodation, food, and other services. Another noteworthy question that I would like to mention to you was this: have you seen the film Hotel Rwanda? 50% said they had seen it, and 50% said they had not. Now, of the 50% who said they had seen it, 94% said it was all lies, nothing close to the reality of what they had gone through. And interestingly, again, the other 50% who said that they had not seen the film said that after hearing what the film was all about, they decided they would never see it. Now, these and obviously other questions and the interviews that we carried out give us results which are conclusive, and they are corroborated, as I was saying, by the other sources of information we got. They tell us that Rusesabagina is a hero made in Hollywood. He is definitely not a hero for the people who were at the Hotel de Mille Collines, and he's certainly not a hero for the Rwandan people. They consider him to be an opportunist who now feels that the death of more than 1 million people is a juicy story he can sell. In fact, most survivors are adamant that if they are alive today, it is not due to Rusesabagina. On the contrary, they say that he made their lives a misery while he was serving as caretaker manager of Hotel de Mille Collines. The vast majority of our respondents said they owe their lives to other people, including the Rwandan Patriotic Front, the Rwandan Patriotic Army, UNAMIR soldiers, and a whole host of other individuals that they listed. These other individuals, by the way, either paid for them to get into Hotel de Mille Collines or paid for their food. And some even signed pledges for them that they would pay for them subsequently if they survived what they were going through. Now then, if these survivors of Hotel de Mille Collines were not saved by Rusesabagina, how did Hotel de Mille Collines become a safe haven? How come they all survived? According to the accounts we got, which contradict the impression given by the film and statements made by Rusesabagina, it is clear that persons who took refuge in the hotel had several reasons for considering it a safe place. In fact, 60% say that they went there because the hotel was under the protection of the United Nations soldiers. In their recollection, the presence of expatriates in the hotel, the presence of armored vehicles belonging to the United Nations Assistance Mission for Rwanda blocking the entrance to the hotel, and the UN flag flying over it would dissuade Interahamwe killers from doing the kind of work they were doing in the rest of the country and in the rest of Kigali. The second reason is that expatriates, politicians, and civil servants, as well as members of the United Nations and other members of the NGOs who had not yet been evacuated, were actually hosted there. The journalists from all over the world who were courageous enough to come to Rwanda at the time were also there. And this was enough reason to deter would-be killers to go to the hotel and carry out the kinds of massacres that they were doing everywhere. The third reason is that the Tutsi taking refuge in the hotel had become both hostages and exhibits. The government forces were eager to present them to the outside world as a representative sample of Tutsi who were alive, in order to give the impression of the genocide who live outside Rwanda. They too have nothing to lose, as long as they can have someone who pretends to absolve their crimes and assure them of a return to Rwanda with impunity. And that's the group that has taken the route of denial. And as you know, denial is the final phase of genocide. It murders the dignity of the survivors and seeks to destroy remembrance of the crime. The deniers of the Tutsi genocide are scattered all over the world. Some are in the jungles of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and others are here in Western capitals, including here in Brussels. Rusesabagina has become their spokesperson and their torchbearer for his own political ends. But they committed genocide in broad daylight, and their hands and hearts are stained with the blood of innocent people. They can never win. Since I'm asked to conclude, let me conclude this way. So probably by way of concluding, let me tell you an anecdote. I was in Reading, England the other day, and I met a gentleman who knows Rusesabagina very well. Both of them are Seventh-day Adventists, and this gentleman had gone to listen to him. When Rusesabagina finished talking, the man took him aside and said, "When you speak like you do you really believe what you're saying?" And Rusesabagina replied that when you talk to white people, you tell them what they want to hear.